Hello, my friends. Let's talk about the bootcamp structure. So, I wanna provide everyone who joins me with some skills. In order to do that, I plan some processes, and we will use some real life projects to develop those skills. The projects list is quite extensive. There are some open source ideas that I need anyway, and that are partially done and need improvements. I have a couple of friendly startups. I plan to meet new startups and create prototypes for them using the platforms, the open source developments, and some more things as well. Then, how do I see the process? The process, not the process, that's the good skill set. So you should, to be a really good developer, and my intention to prepare not just a junior developer that is a very basic fit for a certain technology, certain platform. My purpose is to start the development of a senior developer on a really good developer. This is also called as a T-shaped person, where you have like a T letter, deep qualification in one area, maybe in some, even not necessary in one, and broad basic qualification in all the related areas. So with this horizontal bar of the T letter, we will start here, because that's what we need to boost your skills. However, you will end up with some vertical bar skills with some particular qualification: React, Express, GraphQL, Node.js. That's what you can combine in your resume. TypeScript with this. So here you've probably already studied this diagram. There is a sequence. There is a sequence how you approach the project if you work with me. You start with some basic principles in mind, and to start with your interest, we will focus on your resume. We will define what the particular project will look like in your resume. Will it work for you if you'll have one or not? And only after that, we start the project itself. The project itself starts with understanding how the thing will live. Or literally, if something is not in use, it is dead. And if you want to deliver something in production, you should consider how people will use that. It is the same true for embedded, for libraries that will be used by developers, but developers are also people, are also users of your product. This is true by the end users, the people who click something on their screens. And that will means you need a very basic understanding of user UX science, user experience science. You need at least the basic intro, and when you work as a developer, you should always keep in mind the usability aspect. Then the next thing, before doing something, think how you will prove that it really works, that it's really what you need, what you want to produce and what the people want to consume. How will you prove that your work is correct? So it is a great point to start with planning. And as a byproduct, database design and test planning are independent disciplines. However, they are based on each other. Test planning provides you with scenarios and deeper understanding a better understanding that at the user stories level of what are you going to produce, and the database design reflects how will you keep all this data. Then it goes the development itself, and I really encourage people to have the full stack experience. Even if you plan to specialize in the future, that's all right to specialize, but you need the full understanding of what's going on in the development. So you need the full stack development experience anyway. This is the stack for those projects that open source platform that is not yet open source, that is just planning to become open source, but that lays in the architecture of these two startups the software for which is developed by me. Then when you start coding, you realize the complexity, you'll meet the complexity, and you'll need to plan your own work. Yes, there are theory to doing that right. And the most important part of the mindset is a top-down programming. And this causes us to the rest of the set of the skills related to architecture and decomposition. If you're curious about patterns go here, but I won't accent them specifically. And then when you understand the architecture, when you understand how you plan what you do, it's time to talk about, based on that knowledge, we can talk about unit tests. Because unit tests, lots of people who think they understand what unit tests are actually call integration tests unit tests. They produce integration tests and call them unit tests, and this is wrong. And the difference is really interesting, and there is a motivation. Why do we have all these levels of tests? What are our benefits and trade-offs? Here, the particular technologies is Jest, because that's a JavaScript stack, and also a storybook. We can master, and we should master, the so-called visual unit tests approach. So that's enough, I think, about skills. Also, there are processes, and I think it's better to talk about them in a separate video. Thanks.